They do, but there's only so much they can do. Making a fake plane just disappear into the wall is quite easy to do. Actually making something look like a real crash is far, far more difficult. And then, of course, you have the problem of serial numbered parts that wouldn't match up. You'd need parts to fall down on the ground. Of course, they didn't have any parts really to speak of.
Well, Boeing is missing 4 planes.
Well, okay.
What's the part number?
Oh, I have it in my other jacket.
Well, I have a video analysis that we might look at.
I have a feeling you have some thoughts on this subject.
Okay, this is the self-same footage, and what I've done is I've stabilized the shot so we can see the action better. Okay, so you see the plane crashing into the building, then you see a big fireball explosion, and at the end of the shot you see a whole bunch of debris falling out. By the way, I'm a much better video compositor than I am a crash or aerospace engineer, and I think Ace will agree with me that neither one of us are experts in this field. But the picture shows all this debris blowing out from the building, which is by the trajectory of the debris. You can see the path that it's taking. It is not paper. This is hard chunks of concrete. So my story is the plane hit the building, and then the explosion occurred, and then the explosion blew out chunks of concrete. And when it did, we wound up with a sequence that looks like this.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why that wouldn't look like a plane crash to someone. I mean,
well, the key point here, that Ace's concern is this right wing does not appear to penetrate the building.
Okay.
I'm going to single step through this, and what I want to point out is the right wing, as it slaps the side of the building, you'll see a concrete dust cloud. In fact, everywhere the plane strikes, you see a concrete dust cloud from the impact. That dust cloud occurs right there where the wingtip is, exactly where you would expect. So that says the wingtip slapped the side of the building at high velocity. We don't see a dent, a depression, a darkness in there until what I've done here is I've taken the later shot, resized it, repositioned it, and fit to scale over the original impact point. As we bounce between the original footage, you can see these little like landmarks. You see these black rectangular areas here. They survive in the later shot.
Zoom back, because you'll see those actually dissolve in. Go backwards, and you'll see they dissolve that in.
No, it's on the footage as you're panning around the
but back
airplane.
up. That square shot on the lower left where the left wing is, you can see shots where that shape is about 50% alpha. Go ahead. I'll show you.
Well, that's...
Back up, Steve. Don't you have it?
I have, yes,
Step
but
back.
it's not what I have loaded.
Oh, I see.
See, what I did was I took the later shot and fit it over the collision point. Okay. And what it demonstrates is that everywhere that the plane smacked the building, there's a big black gaping hole, and the hole got larger because the explosion blew the hole larger than the airplane's entrance.
Well, that's what one would expect.
One would expect.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a kerosene explosion, which has almost no destructive power.
Well, that's the statement of a musician.
Yeah, well...
Okay, not a finite element analyst or a mathematician or somebody who is familiar with explosives. I'm going on the video evidence. We see here little reference points that existed at the point of impact that have survived the explosion, so it lines up. Later, we see where the explosion has blown out big chunks, so the hole got larger.
I'll show you what I was talking about, where that feature that Steve is talking about.
We're getting close to the end, so we should pick a topic here that we can cover quickly.
Well, I'll just very quickly show that stair-step feature actually appears to fade in, which it would seem to me that shape has either got to be there or not, and we clearly see that it's about 50% faded in here. So what they did is they took that shape from later on. Of course, this was not shown live. This emerged 13 some hours later, and they took that shape and they faded it in, and I'm just most certainly not buying it. Well, in this case, they're the video compositors that put this together. I think Devin Clark might be one of them. I don't know for sure. But maybe we'll have a little look at Wake Vortex here while we've got this up. Wake Vortex is an effect that is behind every fixed-wing aircraft. It's related to the amount of lift, and it creates a tornado-like vortex behind each wing. We can see it very clearly in this shot. Here is a jetliner that's been through the clouds, and you can see those curling patterns of the clouds behind it. It's kind of a stable effect, and vortex is the reason why they wait a certain amount of time between each landing of each plane. Here is from the now day first hit footage. We see no evidence of a wake vortex behind this plane. This is about 5 seconds after a plane supposedly went through it. Same thing with the ghost plane footage. We just see no evidence of this wake vortex.
Steve, some quick comments.
Yeah, go back to the vortex if you would. Of course, neither Ace nor I are aeronautical engineers.
Right.
But Ace is absolutely right about the wake vortex. But here is the fallacy in the logic. This picture is showing you smoke in the static air that the wingtip has passed through. The other pictures are not smoke in the air that the wing has passed through. The other pictures are the wing has hit the side of the building, the vortex stopped at the face of the building. Then a beat later, the explosion occurs and the hot gases and the smoke push the vortex away. The smoke never mixes with the vortex. Okay? On these scales, these gases represent a liquid.
I thank you so much for joining us for this, again, offbeat and I think stimulating discussion. Please let us know if you would like to see us pursue this topic, because we have more material. Obviously, we didn't get to cover much more than half of the material we had. Once again, we have Ace Baker to thank for this, this discussion, and Steve Wright for lending his expertise. Gentlemen, I appreciate both of you showing up tonight. Thank you for joining us on Hardfire. We look forward to seeing you again.
Hardfire is funded in part by the Libertarian Party of New York. www.ny.lp.org. Catering for the cast and crew of Hardfire is generously provided by Da Vincenzo Restaurant, 256 Prospect Park West, Brooklyn, New York, 11215. 718-369-3590. www.davincenzorestaurant.com.